Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome in once again to the Nick Club Wrestling Happy Hour. Every Friday, we are here at 5:30. For now, 5:30. We may change the time. But I am your virtual bartender, Mr. Nick Teodoro, joined, as always, by my tag team partner in life, my wife, Miss Nicole Teodoro. Nicole, what are you drinking?
My signature Tito's vodka, orange juice, and cranberry. What about you, Mr. Nick?
Mr. Nick is having some red wine this evening. Some J. Laura, as usual. So, it's been a week.
It's been a week.
Since we've last spoken with you all. A lot has happened. A lot is going on. Is there, the question of the week, a power struggle in WWE? Last Friday on SmackDown, after the explosive press conference on Thursday night, Triple H came out, basically cut one of the best promos I've seen him cut in years, whether it's as an authority figure or even as Triple H, basically saying, in a nutshell, and I'm sure Nikki will, of course, correct me on this, but in a nutshell, The Rock needs to learn his role, and the WrestleMania main event is going to, in fact, be Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Presents itself with a crazy scenario, a lot of scenarios, a lot of power struggles going on in WWE. So, Nikki, what are you thinking? Triple H comes out.
Well, I love my Triple H, and I also, just to point out, because like I said, my first episode, Triple H is my man. He came out to the game on the press conference, King of Kings on SmackDown, and King of Kings is more like his authority music, like he's laying down the law music, and that's what he said when he came out, just he's setting, Cody declared, Cody has the option to choose, he won the Royal Rumble, that's what he gets to do, Roman doesn't get to pick that, and, if you're, people think they have the authority to, decide. And what was the other Rock line that he did? I'm totally blanking now because I didn't get to rewind.
We said know your role.
He's like, people don't know their role, and
it doesn't matter.
It's like, if you don't like it, then it doesn't matter if you don't like it. So now everyone's going wild. Is Triple H inserting himself? Is he gonna get involved? What is? Because I think kind of the feelings coming out of the press conference is that, now that Rock's on the TKO board, is he going to, exert his authority? He already tried to insert himself into WrestleMania, and we rejected it, obviously. So it's now. So also, Roman Reigns tweeted out, and also Heyman alluded to on last week's SmackDown that Roman and Rock are going to be here tonight in a couple hours, SmackDown, and they have a big announcement that, things, when he tweeted, things are going to change, or things are going to be different now.
Yeah, it's going to be another groundbreaking announcement.
Yeah, a little bit of Tony Khan spice in there. Big announcement.
What I want to know is, in kayfabe, really, who has more stroke in this storyline scenario, right? The creative director or COO, Triple H, or is it a member of the board? It reminds me of, obviously, back in the day when Linda McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, and Vince were all just kind of feuding. What was WrestleMania 2000? The video game was actually
the Linda Pop?
Yeah, where she backed, was it Mick?
Mick.
Someone backed Big Show. Who was Big Show?
Shane.
Yeah, Shane was Big Show. Vince had
Rock, and then Stephanie and Triple H.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so the four, the
McMahon and every
drank away too many good memories. But
because that was when Rock was supposed to win Rumble, and then they tumbled, and then technically his feet hit before Big Show. And then that turned into the Fatal 4-Way. Yeah,
it was just I just remember the video game from that. That's pretty indescript. But yeah, it just reminds me of that storyline, right? That power line, that power struggle within it. I'm also wondering, again, I know he's had his heart issues, but will Triple H get involved? Can he get involved? Will he hit someone with a pedigree? No. Will he hit The Rock with a pedigree? No. Can we just see one pedigree that the crowd can just go nuts on?
Because they need his heart to be okay to be head of direct creative. That's the whole thing. they removed, and not to bring up a gross, icky person, but they removed Vince and said, like, oh, here, you're on the board. You're not involved in creative. I know Rock and Vince are very different people, but I just feel like just because you're on the board now, you shouldn't have your hand in creative, which clearly he tried to do. And clearly, if you believe if he had, like, whatever stroke and tried to get into that was in his contract to be the main event at WrestleMania, I don't know. You consider, and I hope you do, that main eventing night one is still considered main eventing.
I don't know why that would need to be built into a contract of a main event at WrestleMania for The Rock. Like, the rights to the name of The Rock, completely agree. He's made so many millions off that, right? But, like, being on the board, going to make more millions. Isn't he? He's also on the board for the, what is it now? The USFL? Yeah, that they're starting up. I don't know. It's just another spring football league that I don't think is going to work out. But anyway, I digress. But still, the point is, he's got a lot. He made a lot of money. His brand is his brand, and that's the name, the Rock name. But
yeah, and also you can't really tell on camera, but Nick is wearing his Hulkamania shirt. It really makes me think of Hulk having you have that clause in your contract of creative control. If you pitch me a story and I don't like it, I can veto it.
Listen, that's not going to work for me, brother.
No, and that's why there was this meme, and I sent it to you, and I wish we could show it, but it was like the Rock's face on Hulk Hogan's main lack of there. Yeah. But it's just like, I don't know. It makes you really work. Like, I'm glad that, and I think maybe this is the pivot. This is to quell the audience that, like, Cody, Roman, Mania. Finish the story. I'm interested to see how the rest of this goes. It's also like I said, that Rock Roman are supposed to be on SmackDown. They're supposed to do a big announcement. Apparently, as of now, the rumor is that Roman's not booked for Elimination Chamber. And they just also announced, I don't know if it was earlier in the week or was it on Raw, but Cody and Seth are going to be on the Grayson Waller effect at Chamber. I think this is also a little sneaky not to get Grayson Waller on Chamber. You know, hello, Australia. But I guess what kind of swirling around the sheets is that, like, is Rock Roman going to challenge Cody Seth for some sort of match? Again, I don't know if you am I getting ahead of your slides?
Well, a little bit. We'll get to that in a second. So we'll bleed in, but I want to comment. Author Lisa wrote in. Lisa! I would love for Hunter to get involved, but I don't think he will.
And I love him, but he's got the heart thing. Is it a pacemaker or he's got something?
Rick, the reason I say that, I just saw, and I'm very emphatic about this, I just saw Ric Flair do his 17,000th retirement match and look like he could have keeled over at any point in time. All I'm asking for is one pedigree, maybe under a steel chair, just pedigree, or just pedigree. Just do a pedigree. And I don't think that's too much to ask.
Was it the last big Australia show when it was Triple H, HBK versus Brothers of Destruction, and Kane's wig fell off and Triple H ripped his boob off and, like, his pec. Sorry, Pete. But, like, wasn't that the Australia show? And they're like, we're too old for this, and, like, HBK shouldn't have come out of retirement.
Oh, no. I don't think that was Australia. That was, I think it was a Saudi Arabia one.
I thought it was
because seeing Shawn Michaels bald was just traumatizing.
In the comments down below. Why do I think that we watched that in your condo and it was Australia? Okay.
No, that was.
Was it Saudi?
That was at your house.
Correct me down below. But I don't want a Ric Flair thing. Because I watched that match and it made me incredibly sad, and it was like awkward to watch, and I was like, why am I watching this? But like the car wreck, you couldn't walk away. I don't want that for Triple H. You had your bad weird match. Like, would it be cool? Yes. Would I pop if he did it? Probably. But like, I don't want to hurt his
I don't know. I just feel like he's been challenged. He needs to step up.
But what I guess you have to see, like, because I don't know if he like didn't challenge The Rock. He was just like, he's the authority. He's laying down the law. Cody Roman Mania.
But he's still the game.
The game. Triple H. Stephanie.
So moving on. So we will go back to SmackDown a little bit later to talk about the Bayley Dakota situation. But moving into Raw, we still have all that craziness stemming from SmackDown. What's going to happen? the big takeaways. So Raw, Cody comes out. He's interrupted by Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins basically claims why he backed up or stood up for Cody Rhodes at the press conference. Basically feeling that, and I'm paraphrasing, and Nikki's going to add some more color to it as usual, but basically he helped make Roman Reigns into the monster that he is today, and the only person in a nutshell that is suited to actually help Cody to deal with Roman is in fact his Shield brother, Seth Rollins. And he basically said, last year you came in, you won the Rumble, but you didn't have a plan for all of the bloodline. You need backup, and I will be your Shield. Nikki, what are your thoughts? I thought, again, one of the best Seth is just continuing to prove why he's one of the best in the industry, but this is one of the best promos I've heard.
So slightly behind our curtain, like we usually watch IDTV to go to sleep too, and we decided to put on an NXT last night, and like early, or like pre him winning the NXT championship, and then him getting the championship, and he cut the most generic white boy baby face, like I'm happy to be here, and then to know that we just saw this on Raw, like chef's kiss. So like, you know, he came out and was like kind of like, oh, like you didn't challenge me, but like when you said like I'm coming for your title, I'm coming for everything, he's like, I felt that. And like that's why he stood up for him. And he's like, that's why you need to finish your story. But what's your plan? Because again, he got screwed because there was Heyman, there was Jimmy, there was Solo. And then which I think, I love these little details, and I think this is why Seth is so good, because he said, like, you know, like, he was like my brother. Like, I had a hand in creating Roman Reigns. I didn't think he'd be this monster that he became. He's like, I taught him everything he knows. Or I taught him everything I know. And then basically it's like, oh, I had a hand in creating it, and now he has two heads with Rock and Roman. And that like that Cody would need a shield. And he used to be an architect, now he's a visionary. Now he's a revolutionary, Seth freaking Rollins. But so I think I love the little points that he's like basically implying like I helped kickstart the creation of Roman Reigns. Like the Roman Reigns that we see and know today was helped created by Seth Rollins. I love that little, I hope it comes into play more later. I like to see where that little thread goes. But I think Seth kicked this promo out of the park.
I do love the idea that he painted a picture of that. Now you have Roman, who's run the show, not being around for the last X amount of years, right? 2, 3, 4 years, whatever. And now you have Rock coming back, who's as he's like basically put it, like an egotistical maniac. And now you have both of them, two heads of the table, right? Like you have the head of the board and the head of the table, and they're gonna run everything if you don't win at WrestleMania.
And I think it goes back to the line that I really loved for like Cody said at the press conference. It's like, you're both at the head of the table, but none of you've been cooking for 2 years. Like, I love that line. I think that's great. I'm so interested to see where this goes. Again, when I tried to kind of alluded to before, like, I don't know if anyone watched the Super Bowl or the commercials, but they did air a commercial later in the game that it was like, basically the last image was a stare down. It was like Cody and Seth on one side, Rock Roman on the other. Like, are they teeing up a tag team match? I know last week I said I didn't want to see it. I'm still torn.
Now you're changing your mind.
I'm a little intrigued. I just don't know. I'm interested. Like,
she can be convinced.
I can.
She can be because you just can't resist the electricity.
I mean, like I really love Cody and I really love Seth Rollins. So to see them as a tag team would be very interesting. And what are the implications? Because they both want to be the top, you know. Like I don't want to take anything away from Seth's belt, and we'll get into that with the chamber stuff. But like, I don't want to take anything away from Cody as Seth as champion, because I want that belt to be important as well. But if Cody beats Roman, and now we have a defending champion, what does that mean for Seth?
Well, you know, it kind of reminds me of when Rock and Cena had the once in a lifetime that ended up being twice in a lifetime match, where they had that tag match at Survivor Series. Was it Survivor Series? I think it was Survivor Series with R-Truth and Miz. Yeah, and when they had their run with all the Hell in a Cell stuff, and they broke into the Hell in a Cell, and it was But I feel like this is just a whole other level of like two stars, like mega stars, like well, and like Buddy and Cody, excuse me, and Seth just about to be at a whole other echelon of like their main eventers, proven main eventers, but now, with this rub could go to a whole other level.
Yeah. I guess like I don't know necessarily I'm excited for the match. I'm excited for the promos and the twists and the turns that would potentially lead us to that match.
Well, one of the twists that Lisa thinks could happen is Lisa thinks, I hate to say it, but what if Rollins screws Cody over at Mania?
That is, I want to give a shout out to not that they would ever a shout out to Cultaholic. Their podcast and their channel is amazing, and I love them very dearly. But Tom Campbell from them put out a video. What if Seth screws Cody? It
would be an interesting dynamic, but he's too over it. I feel like as a face that. There's the one thing I feel it's easier to get over as a heel in today's wrestling. So I feel like it's much easier to get over as a heel than it is as an organic babyface. And having a guy like Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, those two guys on each, whether they're on the same brand or different brands, they're getting cheered and they're super over. So whoever they're against, if you're trying to turn them and get them some sort of reaction, it's just money for them. It gives them an opportunity, at least a chance to get over. So I don't know. It's a good point, Lise. I don't see it.
I think it'd be insane. I don't like because I'm trying to think when they did their first three series, Seth was the heel, and I think then when Cody had to go away for a couple, almost a year, that they had to kind of turn Seth's face because they needed the baby face. Honestly, I love the Shield very much. When they first came up, Mox Ambrose was sort of my guy. I didn't really get on the Seth Rollins bandwagon until he turned heel. I do love a heel Seth Rollins. I don't, at least I can see it, but I can't see it. But like, I wouldn't be like, I don't know. But like, would like he'd get involved in the match and screw him, or would there be something that happened on the Saturday that would affect the match on? Like, I don't want him to just come out of nowhere and be like, oh, I pulled the ref out. And like,
there's infinite scenarios. If it's a tag match, you could screw him over in the tag match. If it's the actual
or like one
match.
of those like they're tag teaming and then like like Roman would duck and then Seth would hit Cody and then Cody would fall off the apron and now he's coming in with like kinesia tape to the match on Sunday. And it's like, oh, he's injured because Seth hit him and oh my god, like did he do it on purpose? Did they not do it on purpose? Like one of those scenarios.
It'd be interesting. And
I'm very like again, I don't know how I feel about seeing the actual tag match, but I'm very intrigued to get there. Like, how are they going to get me there? And can I come here next Friday and be like, I'm on board?
Could it be some sort like? And I'll wrap on this topic, and we can still talk about this later when we take our calls from the regulars. But could it be something where night one it's a tag match for some sort of control, right? Like where the power struggle, right, is decided between Rock and Triple H. If Rock's in the match with Roman and whoever wins that match, then the main event for the following night is either Rock Roman because Rock has controlling stake of the company, or it's, Cody Roman, the original main event. And he just kind of like Daniel Bryan did at WrestleMania 30, where he earned his way in. The tag match earns Cody's way in. And I guess, Rollins
wouldn't. Are you saying that maybe it adds a stipulation to Sunday night? Like the Saturday tag match, like if Cody wins, he picks the stip. If Roman wins, and maybe I wouldn't want to see it, but maybe Seth takes the pin, and now like Cody has his back against the wall, and like Roman gets to pick a stipulation, or the Rock gets inserted, or whatever.
Right. No,
I feel like maybe there needs to be stakes in that match for me to get.
Yeah. I think there will be. I really think there will be. So moving on from Rock, the other takeaway from Raw that we're looking at. And we were talking last week about the dominant champions in WWE right now. We were talking about Rhea Ripley and being one of them, and the one that I completely skipped my brain was, in fact, Gunther.
The ring general.
On Raw, we saw a 6-man tag, Imperium against Jey Uso and
The New Day,
who now are all friends and they're all buddy after. They've had rivalries in the past, but again, great match. Starting to insert Jay as, which he's been, a singles
main event Jey
Jey, single star, if you want to call it that. The question I want to know, after a nice match, 6-man tag on Raw, where Jay comes off looking like a gold as usual, is Jey Uso the right person to dethrone Gunther? And if not, who is the person who dethrones him? He has an historic reign. Do you want Jey Uso to be the person? I want to hear from everybody. Obviously, we're talking about The Rock before, but let us know. Feel free. The lines are open. Comment in, write in, let us know. But is Gunther going to drop? First off, A, is he going to drop the belt at WrestleMania? And B, do you want it to be Jey Uso, or do you think it's someone else? Personally, before I asked Nikki her opinion on this, I thought it was going to be Braun Breaker after this whole NXT tag team situation that happened.
You mean prior?
Yeah, winning. Yeah, prior. After the Royal Rumble experience, I thought he's going to get all that momentum going into WrestleMania, and get a Goldberg like run, shortened, but towards WrestleMania to take on Gunther and take the belt from him. I think a younger guy puts over another younger star made sense. He went on this run during the Dusty Classic where they won the tag team titles recently with Baron Corbin. I haven't watched much of the Wolf Dogs tag team on NXT. I haven't really watched too much NXT, period. And I know they've been getting over there, so I don't see that as viable, but I really wanted Braun Breaker to be the guy to do it. So, Nikki, I throw it to you. What are you thinking about this in particular?
Ugh. It's hard because I really do I like Jey Uso. I like him. I think it's great. I like his person. I like him breaking away from the bloodline. I would like to see, put him in the United States picture. I don't want him to face Gunther. I don't want Gunther to lose at Mania. I would prefer Braun Breaker. Honestly, my dream would be my two dreams. And they ruined the first one. Chad Gable. He had that fun little run in the summer when he was actually being a Chad Gable again. Justice for Chad Gable. I want so much more for him.
We're gonna get that over. Hashtag justice for Chad Gable.
They had that fun little matches, and maybe if you built him up, and again he can be that. Why they're not building him up as the next Kurt Angle? I would never understand why. And that Shorty G bullshit. Sorry, whatever. That was my one dream dead. My second dream would be Ilya Dragunov from NXT, because they had that amazing match during the pandemic. That there's just so much slapping, so good. I would want to see. I want, not that Jay to me is not an up and comer. I know he's a single star, but he's not new. And I think if you're gonna have Gunther, this historic, beautiful reign of how the ring is sacred and he's a wrestler and all the crap that he talks about the Miz and all this stuff, I want someone on, not the Jason on that level, but someone that has that same maybe mentality as Gunther.
Right.
I don't want to take anything away from Jay because I do like him a lot. I just don't think he's the right person to take it off him. I really don't.
So in your mind, the Intercontinental title, I guess, is the workman's belt, right?
My Mr. Perfect, I want that to be. I think your wrestler's technician,
Yeah,
that's what I want.
It has historically been the workman's belt, right? That's what it is. So I don't disagree with you there. I just don't Chad Gable had gotten a great run, early in the fall, I felt like.
It was late-ish, maybe,
I don't know, that's when I felt.
August, July, August, September, it was that early, summerish. I don't know. To me, it needs to be. Again, I feel like I'm crapping on Jay, and I don't mean to be, but I just feel like he's not the right person. Lisa
chimes in. I wouldn't mind if it's Jey Uso, but I'm not 100% sure it'll be him. I agree. I don't know. See, the thing that I wouldn't mind, if you're telling me he wins at Mania, Jay, and he then goes into, I really wanted to see Jimmy J at Mania and putting the Intercontinental title in that feud. Well, putting the title in that feud just gives it that much more emphasis for both of them that they
Then
need.
when is Gunther dropping this to him?
No, I think, yeah. Like I don't know. I mean,
he's not going to limit. He's not booked for elimination.
it would be potentially Mania. Like you could give Jey Uso the run, and hopefully, maybe they bump the match up to SummerSlam if they're trying. Like especially if they're starting to fade out all the Bloodline storylines. That's another one that has to happen. It's a face-off that has to happen. Rumble, we saw a little bit of it, right, and we got the tease of it, but now it has to happen as a match, and just putting a belt, and especially the mid-card belt, when you're trying to get at least Jey over as a single star, I think it makes more sense. Yeah, I would be okay if you told me today. I was, again, I don't love him, but like love it. But if you told me today Jay's winning at WrestleMania, he's carrying the belt into next WrestleMania where he defends against Jimmy, I'll sign up for long-term storytelling like
Gunther
that.
drops the belt, I want him like immediately, like he's challenging Seth or Cody or whoever has one of those belts. Like then I want like Seth Rollins to drop the belt. Like Gunther needs a belt. I feel like he brings so much to a belt and to the ring and like the gravitas. And like again, I think a lot of people, the triple threat between Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew, a lot of people's match of the year. I think that would probably maybe my match of Mania, maybe not of the year, but like that's such a good match. Like I don't know. I just don't know if
he should be, honestly, his next. I mean, once he drops the belt, he should go right after the world title.
World title. I want the belt on him by SummerSlam. Like if he's dropping something at Mania, I want him to pick something up at SummerSlam. Maybe I like Gunther too much. I don't know, but I think he brings a lot to it. Again, if you're the longest, like he broke Honky's, like your longest person. I feel like whoever's taking it off, it needs to be a big deal.
Lisa made a great point. Well, the question is, will WWE let two incredible championship reigns end at WrestleMania? That's a great point. Touche, Lisa. You earned another round on the house.
Lisa, I love you. But it's just like, again, like how many, I guess we'll get there when we get to Mania, but I feel like a lot of, like, I think Bayley would take the belt off Io. I don't want Bayley to take the belt off Rhea, but there's rumors that she might. And then if Cody's going to take the belt off Roman and then Jay off Gunther, like that's a lot. And then I think, again, what's Logan going to do at Mania? But I think Logan drops it at Mania. Are you going to have all your belts changed, or is this like a legit reset for Triple H to?
Well, historically, that's been WrestleMania's been always been the reset for a lot of those belts.
The IC belt wasn't defended at Mania for a very long time, so I don't.
Interesting. Steven's got
Steven?
One of the regulars chiming in. If they're going to end Gunther's reign at Mania, best story of it would be Sheamus.
I'd rather Sheamus than Jay, Steven, to be 100% honest with you.
I mean,
Sheamus or Drew?
I know you're talking to the wrong guy. I just don't like Sheamus. I'm just not a Sheamus fan.
Irish people.
Yes, I do not like Irish.
You're here.
My wife is Irish.
We're getting divorced, kids.
So let us know. We want to hear from everybody. Comments below. Obviously, be sure, we don't say this enough, but it's in the little banner in below. But be sure to like, subscribe. It does a lot. We want to hear from everybody.
Share.
The idea of a happy hour is that we all enjoy things together. And to mention, while this is a happy hour and we are drinking, there is no necessity to drink. You can drink whatever you like. Alcoholic, non-alcoholic, soda, water. It doesn't matter. That's the idea, is that we're just hanging out, enjoying, talking about wrestling together. So that's that. On to our next topic. So stemming from Raw, we have we have half the field.
We're figuring out the field for the women's elimination chamber. Whoever wins that will be going against, again, Rhea or Nia Jax. I don't think Rhea's losing in Australia next week, but whoever wins that, the winner of the women's elimination chamber will be going for that belt.
So one of our regulars here, Hulk Hogan, one of he's the biggest fan of Liv Morgan, and one of our New Jersey
girl
sisters. Yeah, Jersey girl. So we support her.
Elmwood.
Recently qualified.
Well, came back, was out on injury, came back at the Rumble, made her, surprise entrance. She's back. And then she had her qualifying match against Zoe Starks. And here she's hitting the Oblivion, and this is how she qualifies for the Chamber.
So now that Liv's in, we talked a couple of weeks ago, well, last week actually, about Becky at the press conference, seemingly being the head challenger
Rhea,
or the.
I'm coming for you.
So, two storylines that make it very credible for WrestleMania. One coming back from injury.
Because Rhea injured.
Storyline.
Kayfabe. Rhea. Well, Rhea and her had the women's tag belt for a hot second, and then Rhea turned on Liv, injured her arm, and then she came back, and now she's saying she's going for Rhea because she was the reason why she was out.
Which is always the best way. I feel like it's the easiest thing that's not. I feel like not. Maybe it's done too much. I don't know. Not that like you just put a tag team together. It's organic heat. The Jannetty. I mean, they're not going to be the Rockers, Jannetty, Michaels, but you eventually they're going to break them up, and you have a feud built in for the next.
For every tag team in the history of every.
Yeah, but like. So it gives you. They had that little boost, right, of being tag teams, but they also won the belt, so they're tag team champions. So it's not like they were just like a thrown together team that didn't do anything. And then now she injured her in storyline, so there is that built-in storyline. Is Liv Morgan not necessarily a dark horse, but she's the other challenger? Could she be the one to challenge Rhea at WrestleMania, aside from Becky?
So at time of recording right now, it's Becky, Liv, and it's Bianca Belair. Tonight, there's 2 more qualifying matches. It's Naomi, returning Naomi. This is her first, besides the Rumble, her first actual match back on TV for Selena Vega. And then it was supposed to be Tiffany Stratton versus Shotzi Blackheart. Shotzi got injured at an NXT taping on Tuesday, so they're apparently subbing in Alba Flyer. So with that, I'm assuming it's going to be Naomi, Tiff Strats, and then they're supposed to be having on Monday a battle royal of all the losers. So it'd be Shayna. Right now, it's Shayna, Zoe. Who did Bianca beat?
I'm not like no. Well, oh yeah, Zoe's Raw. Bianca, I'm blanking.
So whoever. And then you would think Alba and Selena. I think Shayna should go back in. Again, I feel like they do her dirty.
Oh yeah, I mean,
again, so we'll know.
Oh, Lisa corrected us.
Medium. Oh, that's why, because she goes by Nietzsche, and I can't stand it.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Lise. So then they will have their little match, and then by Monday we'll know who's the full.
Yeah, see, it's interesting to me. I mean, so the rumor was that Jade Cargill was going to be in this match, but they pulled her because they don't want her to eat a pin.
They determined that she wasn't going to win the chamber, so they didn't want her in the chamber to take a pin.
Right. So right now, but they're going to have, well, I guess Bianca can take a pin, but like either Becky, Bianca, or Liv, one of those three is eating a pin at this point in time. Tiffany Stratton, I'd like to see what she's going to do. She's super athletic. I think she'll have a really nice spot in the chamber.
Pretty smooth song. But I think
I hate to say it, based off of which I agree with Nikki that she's probably going to get in. Naomi is going to get in the chamber, and she'll have one win and then one loss immediately after coming in.
I think how you can get away with it is what they did with honestly Liv and Ronda Rousey, that like pass out.
True.
Put them. You got Shayna, you got Becky. Like someone else can pull out a whatever, just choke them out.
Not to bring this back to the whole original topic of the bloodline and all that stuff, but I still think somehow Nia Jax and Naomi, there is no female entity. Yeah, presence. Yeah, that's a better word. So, like, in the bloodline, we haven't talked about that ever. It hasn't, like, if they wanted to somehow keep the storyline going, which, again, you could make the point of, like, are you tired of it? But it would be interesting, like, if you want to add more wrinkles to it, you have that whole tree family tree opens it up to like, I hate to say, I wouldn't hate it if they did some sort, not like an invasion, but like kind of like an invasion angle, like a super stable, like it's not the corporation, but it's the, obviously it's the bloodline, and having now Nia be involved, right? Naomi being, because Nia's on Raw, Naomi's on SmackDown. You have the three already in the stable. It would be interesting. It is in The Rock now joint. Like it adds a whole other level of like, if you really want to take the storyline to like a power struggle level and really do a long-term storytelling, you could add, obviously the female element hasn't been there the whole life of this storyline to that. And then now you have the elders and the cousins and all that stuff. But
you can't turn Naomi heel at this point. You just brought her back. Her big feel the glow. She did her dance. That's her whole kind of shtick. You're bringing her back like Naomi's back. She's doing this thing, and then you're immediately she can't have that. She can't come out and feel the glow with her.
Correct me if I'm wrong. She's married to Jimmy or Jay.
Jimmy.
Okay, so
she's married to the heel.
Yeah, so
in real life.
Yeah.
I feel like you just brought her back. You can't. Could you turn her heel? I'm sure you could. Would it be weird?
Well, if she was, if it was Jay, then you could say like she's the face with Jay being a face to counter it, and then Nia can then be the heel for the family. Yeah. But
wrong twin.
Regardless, that was just my little diatribe. I just feel like that could be something I'd be down with if they're going to keep this going somehow. I know you hate all of my booking.
I don't want to say hate. Hate's a strong word, and I shouldn't say hate. I hate somebody, but I can't say Nia Jax. She can go kick rocks, and I feel like Naomi coming back, you can't turn her heel.
You and Lisa share that sentiment. She said anybody but Nia Jax. Somewhere in the comments she put that.
Again, I can't. I've gone on long enough that how much I do not like Nia Jax.
All right, so sticking with the women, we'll wrap up this as topics, and then we'll open up the phone lines for all your thoughts, comments, concerns about what's going on. So we talked last week. One of our key topics was Bayley.
I feel like I hate to say that again, it's too early to tell, but I kind of hate to say you're right, because I was 100% like, Dakota's gonna turn on Bayley and she's gonna come back and do all the things.
Well, I will say I'm still not 100%.
I'm not 100%, but I literally thought like we'd go upstairs, watch SmackDown, and Dakota Kai would just be over Bayley. So again, it still could happen, but I really thought it was gonna be last week.
So in a nutshell, last week on SmackDown, Dakota Kai came out, and Bayley was like, "You haven't been around. Where do your loyalties lie?" And in a very weird exchange, then Damage Control came out, surrounded the ring, basically had it to the point where they were going to, in a very Nexus-like attack, they surrounded the ring and were back to attack Bayley. Dakota backed out, got a steel chair, came back in, cleared house, looked like she was this is
the beginning of it. You thought she was going to hit Bayley, and I was like, knew it. And then she turned and swung the other way.
Right, which is also kind of a typical classic WWE.
I know, but
fake out. But
in the beginning of it, she was just like, "Oh, like I knew that they were talking stuff," but she's like, "I thought like once they got the tag belts and you won the Rumble, like everything would settle down." She's like, "I didn't think this would go on this long," which I don't know if I necessarily believe, but
that's where. Yes, last week I do think that still it needs to be a 3-on-3. Eventually, you're gonna have some sort of 6-woman tag match where someone else joins up with them. I'm not sure yet who that is. It's probably someone that they just beat the crap out of the last year.
Honestly,
hopefully someone will return.
My 2 cents. Tegan Knox. Her and Dakota Kai used to tag in NXT Indies. Get her away from Natty, please.
What about Raquel Rodriguez? Because didn't Dakota
out?
Oh,
I wouldn't be against it, but she's not injured, but she's out for medical reasons. I don't know.
But that's the thing, right? If she's not out on like a long-term injury and it's something that's like a couple of months, that's where I see this playing out, right? Dakota, it's 3-on-2, and then they need the muscle, they need the backup. Who is Bayley and Dakota friends with that could come in? It's not going to be Sasha Banks anymore, or at least not seemingly. And
We'll find out soon.
yeah, hopefully that'll be a nice
Big business.
topic. That might be one show where we veer off the WWE path for a little bit. But so yeah, like, it's got to be someone I think that Dakota's been with. So yeah, to your point, Tegan or Raquel Rodriguez could be.
I really honestly, and that's when I was actually really I stopped watching NXT when I went to the weird 2.0 era. But I really liked Dakota Kai and Raquel, like her being that like Shawn Michaels kind of heely, smaller person, and Raquel being her. I love a good heavy.
The only thing I will say is, I still think it's going to be 3-on-3. However, if they do want to take in the direction of Dakota,
3-on-3 where at Mania?
No, not Mania. Sorry,
Post-Mania.
Sorry. Yeah, it's gonna be. I think eventually it's going to be someone to even the odds for Bayley and Dakota against Damage Control. However, if they do decide, which wouldn't be the worst idea either, to go in the direction of Dakota is like the secret leader, which doesn't make sense for this reason that she's not the champion and you should be aiming for the belt. So unless she's going to go after Rhea, okay, which still doesn't seem likely. But anyway, it would set up a faction for someone, and you know how big a fan I am, like new coming in to dominate through, like someone like, if you want to give a huge major push to Jade Cargill, have her work through Damage Control over the next 6 months to a year in a Goldberg like run, eventually getting that could be something interesting where there's a 4-person, 4-woman stable that runs roughshod over SmackDown, and then eventually the new single star comes in. If you want to make that female look like a champ, that's a way to do it. So again, not likely, but if they do go in that direction, that's what I would want to see.
I think my only concern is like if I'm right and Dakota does eventually turn on Bayley, I don't want it to be at Mania. Like I think Io is an incredible wrestler, and I feel like they give her nothing character wise. It's just like her, Asuka, and Kairi like giggle menacingly in the corner. Like she puts on phenomenal matches, and she can be. I think again her NXT run was incredible. She had more personality in NXT. I think it's more when you get called up to me, you lose layer stuff. But like I don't want them like to cost cost Bayley the belt, and then Io keeps running with it. Like I'm ready for Bayley to have a belt again. Again, that's why I purchased her for Rumble.
No,
I think she's ready for to carry the belt again.
Yeah. I mean, she deserved it. She carried that group in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, unless they do something with Io to give her something in the next 2 months.
She's a great heel though. Bayley is great. I mean, she's just great. I mean,
again, she can be like the in between. She doesn't like need to be so heel, and she doesn't need to come back with her like floatable friends. But you can. I feel like she can be like that.
See, the thing that she came from that, and like just like the huge fan that everyone loved to support, and now like when she finally turned, honestly, it's really weird and maybe an unpopular. I kind of took that to like a female version of Hulk Hogan turning. When Hulk Hogan, I don't know why, I just felt
she was
like
wearing the black and white.
Yeah, like it was just so like she was just such a goody. I hate to say, the goody two shoes, and like just everything. It was such a Hulk Hogan, and I was just so like happy for her. And then she like that the character work that she did after that was just phenomenal. The role model stuff was just great. But I digress. So that's the 4 big topics that we took from this week. What has everyone else taken from this week? Let us know. We have open phone lines. We do have some callers.
Hello.
So we have someone calling in, probably based off of the earlier topics. We have Yeet Alonzo, which I'm not sure who that is, but
I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeet. What are you thinking? What are you drinking? Welcome in.
What do you mean you're not sure?
We have ideas. You just never know who shows up. They just let anyone in this bar.
I know. There's no bouncer.
There really isn't.
All sorts in here.
Well, I will say that Jackson's our bouncer, and our dog
currently passed out.
Yeah, and we have no good images.
And so is Bayley. Everyone's asleep.
Your bouncer likes to drool.
He does.
Oh,
he does.
Yes.
He does, and he will be making appearances on the show in the future. Anytime anyone, first of all, like Joey Styles comment from last week, anytime anyone makes those ridiculous comments, we're going to have to throw them in the drunk tank. So let it be known, and Jackson is the keeper of the drunk tank.
I wouldn't want to mess with him.
He should. He's very tough. He's
Mhm.
from the streets. He knows what's up. So,
Steve, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm thinking, okay, Drew McIntyre. It certainly looks like he signed, renewed his contract, doesn't it? I mean, he's getting push that he's going to be in the, the title match for Seth's title on night 2, and this looks to me like it's shaping up to be a make good from 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Which he certainly deserves. I thought he was going to get it at the pay-per-view at the Castle. Didn't happen. Premium live event.
get it right. Get it right. We're fact checking everybody here now.
I'll make notes next time. And it just he's doing really good character work. Probably the best he's done. Because what his gripe is on the show is, it's actually based in heavily based in truth. I think Cole has said that a few times. He hasn't, that Drew hasn't said one lie about what his grievances are. And I can certainly see it shaping up for him to be taking a victory lap on night 2.
That'd be an interesting. So how do you? So I guess how do you think he gets the belt off Seth though?
He's gonna win Chamber.
So he wins Chamber and challenges Seth night 2.
Yeah, because that they at Triple on SmackDown when Triple after his promo, they announced that the men's chamber would be for Seth's belt. I think Drew's winning that. Honestly, Steve and I agree. I think that with all the press conference stuff aside, like I thought it should be Drew Seth. I want Drew to take the belt off him. I think he's doing incredible work. And I think that's kind of your best heel, where it's like, where's the lie? Like,
right.
He's been honestly truthful. He deserves it. And I remember being at Nick's condo when he won the Royal Rumble that we all like freaked out about. I think he did. I love Seth. I think Drew's the one to take it off him. And his like DM Hunk stuff, that him shitting on CM Punk has been magnificent. And he has, I don't know if it's
it has been great. That has been fun.
I don't know if it's a full extension. What I've read was that with the time off and the injuries, he's contracted through Mania, but I don't know if it's a full contract renewal.
I thought I saw that his contract ended like maybe within a week or two after Mania. But I mean, they're setting up for a match. I mean, Punk's not going to be ready until at least, June or July, depending on how the goes. And, why bother pursuing this as a storyline if Drew hasn't at least agreed to a new contract?
Yeah, no, business-wise, yeah, you'd be dumb to try and put a belt or at least give him a push like this going into his free agency. Actually, someone else, one of our other regulars, Lisa's chiming back in. I'm calling it. Drew takes the title off Rollins and Punk comes back and goes after Drew for the title. I do think that is a logical conclusion to that storyline. He's been crapping on him for the last X amount of months. He gets the belt. The question is but what kind of if he's coming back June, July, is it the SummerSlam match where Punk then wins the belt at SummerSlam? Which would be kind of ironic because
Summer of Punk.
Well, Summer of Punk, but he's literally won the AEW world title. Was it the last 2 summer? I feel like he definitely won it in the last 2 years, at least one of the summers. Yeah. So it'd just be kind of interesting. It'd just be like, I guess summer is, summer. It's always the summer of Punk. Every summer is the summer of Punk. I don't know. Would you want to see Drew that's not a significant reign. You get the win at Mania, but then
I don't think Punk will be ready by SummerSlam, to be honest with you. I don't think that's a concern.
I don't know. Is he doing great work? Yeah. Drew's doing great work right now, but I don't know. I still, even as champion, he needs to be a heel champion for sure. But do I turn on the TV to watch Drew McIntyre? Not at all. Nothing from him in WWE, leaving WWE, outside of WWE, I watched this stuff in Impact.
No, I think,
Nothing like just was like, I gotta watch this guy. Like
I think we were leading up to the 2020 Rumble. I think we were all Team Drew. We were all in your content. We had just gotten engaged, and we all wanted Drew to win that Royal Rumble.
he had momentum at that point because he was the only one with any momentum. Because he came back and he had that run. He was with Dolph, and then he was starting to get a lot of like real big time momentum. I think was that the one where he eliminated Brock at Mania?
Yeah, because then he took the belt off.
Yeah, so just I don't know. Like we just, I just never got into Drew McIntyre. I don't know. It is what it is. Steve, any last words before we cut you off?
Yeah, I think they should give the women their own show now. There's too many of them.
Not a bad idea. Honestly, on like
they're not gonna do another Evolution. Or
no,
like their weekly TV show.
Like weekly.
Weekly. Give them a 2-hour when the Netflix programming starts, because there's too many of them, and a lot of them are slipping by the wayside. I mean, you can still feature a couple of them on Raw or SmackDown once in a while, but give them their own show and give more of them time to shine.
It's a good point. I mean, honestly, it's been the focal. Triple H has made it the focal point of all the main shows, right? Like look at Rhea, look at what's going on. Like even Bayley, that storyline on SmackDown has been great. The way he's trying, at least seemingly trying to build up Jade Cargill, like he's put Bianca, right? Like not like he's put an emphasis on the women's division. So I wouldn't rule it out. But I mean, like if NXT is 2 hours and they struggle for ratings every, like I think an hour show, maybe like I'd love to bring back Sunday Night Heat. Not Sunday, maybe not necessarily Sunday night, but like Sunday, like something like that, where it's like I often go back to the point where like Raw should be 2 hours, not 3 hours. Pay-per-view should be 3 hours. It's too much time that you just lose so much in between. I'm more in favor of shorter shows, but yeah, could they do it? Absolutely. With the roster they have, they could spread it out. Maybe more shows, just shorter over the course of a week.
Yeah, let people clogging up catering.
Have better storylines. Maybe get rid of like. I'm sorry, not to bring her up again, but like again, I love Chad Gable, but Alpha Academy.
I thought you were going to say Nia Jax. I thought you were going to say Nia Jax.
Like you have Alpha Academy making them look like idiots. Maxine who can't do anything. Ivy Niles, you asked me the other day where she's been. She's nowhere.
Yeah.
Like get rid of like. Make better story, like do better storylines.
Or these are
like,
so
I'm
green
sorry,
that
like,
they just can't get on TV.
Like I think Ivar Hansen is an incredible wrestler, but him and Sarah Logan, Valerie Hella, they have no chemistry together. I'm like, that's your best friend's wife, but you guys got no chemistry together. Like, get rid of that stuff and then put on like an actual good women's wrestling match.
Yeah,
I don't think they would. I would love to see it. I don't think they would
leave.
ever do their own women's match, but like you can, to Triple H, to Tony Khan, like get rid of your bullshit storylines and put on good women's wrestling.
Sure. Well, Steve, well done as usual.
Steven!
Thank you, Nick.
Your piece. But you, sir, are now cut off. All right. Well, we got a lot to look forward to tonight. This big announcement with Rock Roman coming to discuss.
Yeah, I think it's also interesting because, again, they're on Australia next weekend. So they're doing the live taping at 8, with the live at 8, and then they're taping another SmackDown afterwards.
So
next SmackDown will be taped. So I'm sure there'll be spoileries afoot.
Yeah, so some people might already know what's going on before it happens. But anyway, we will be back here discussing that next week. 5:30, same time, same channel. We're here next 5:30. We're actually going to have a two for next week. So a 2-shot. What do they call it? Not a 2-shot.
Double shot?
Double shot. That's what I meant to say. Terrible bartender. We're going to have a double shot next week. We're doing happy hour Friday at 5:30 to recap the week. Elimination Chamber is in Australia, so it's got a weird early time. So we are doing brunch. We're gonna have a fun brunch. Mimosas for everybody. So that'll be. We're probably gonna. I'm thinking noon. Do a little lunch brunch. I guess lunch brunch. Show happy hour will be noon to 1 to discuss Elimination Chamber, the results, everything going on. So make sure you subscribe, like, hit the notify button so you know the shows that are coming. We're live every Friday at 5:30, bringing you into SmackDown. Any last thoughts for SmackDown tonight, Nikki?
I'm interested to see. I'm assuming they're opening and we're to watch Roman walk out for 20 minutes and then we'll get something. I'm excited. I want to know where this goes. I'm here for the ride.
I'm excited.
We're buckling up to the road to WrestleMania. Where we're going, we don't need roads. But we need a Cody road.
We just need wrestlers.
We need a Cody road.
We just need healthy wrestlers that are willing to wrestle. And willing and able to wrestle. So, with that, we will see you all next week. Enjoy SmackDown tonight. So, as usual, you don't have to go home.
But you can't stay here.
Cheers.
Bye.